everybody, what is up? Welcome to another video. Today I'm doing a different type of video than usual because guess what tomorrow is? Stranger Things Season 5, the finale. The first part of Season 5 is coming out tomorrow and I am so excited and I'm sure lots of people are. So today I'm going to go through all the theories and all the methods I have in my brain, everything that could happen, and then we're going to see if I'm right tomorrow or Christmas, New Year's. I have a very long list of experience, a very long list of reasons I know I'm qualified to say what I'm about to say. So we're gonna start with ships, the final couples of this series. This is high-key, like, I'm really excited for that. The most important ship, I'd say, is Byler. A lot of people disagree with this, but I kind of live by this. This is really important. Basically, a lot of people think Byler won't happen because of Eleven, but Eleven's whole character arc ever since the first season all the way to this season is her gaining independence. What is independent about having a boyfriend? That, like, she's been trying to, like, be independent from Mike, talking about how she's a hero. Like, if she doesn't get her independence from Mike, what is the point of her character development? Like, Micah just picked someone he found off the woods and she barely knew grammar. She didn't know grammar. She was talking like, hi, me 11, yo no soy.
No, 11, no, yes. Night, Mike. No, bad.
Like, she didn't know anything, and he just picked her up and he was like, you want to go to a snowball with me? And like, that's all she knew.
Nancy, she'll be like your new sister. Will you be like my brother? What? No.
That is all she knew. And going off of that, her not knowing enough things, like, her, you know that thing whenever that lady says, only love makes you that crazy to Nancy?
Only love makes you that crazy, sweetheart.
In like season 1 or 2, Mike and Will are I think season 2, Mike and Will are together, and Mike looks at Will like this, like, he's like, we'll go crazy together, right?
Hey, well, if we're both going crazy, then we'll go crazy together, right? Yeah. Crazy together.
Like, you cannot tell me that wasn't, like, that was so obvious. They are so obviously, like, and like, oh, and he brings this up to 11 too. Mike is like, well, you know what they call it, like, that thing that makes you crazy, and 11 is just like, what?
Yeah, they do say it makes you crazy.
What makes you crazy?
You ever heard that term? You know, like the phrase, like, blank makes you crazy, like the word.
Girlfriends?
No, not girlfriends.
Boyfriends?
No, not boyfriends either. It's like a...
Because she doesn't get the hint. She's too, not to say dumb, but like, she's not dumb. She's smart. She just doesn't have the experience of schooling to know what this stuff means. Like, she's just not ready for him. It's, you know? And... remember whenever Nancy, she was like, yeah, I don't want to end up like my parents. Maybe Jonathan said that. Okay, well, somebody was like saying Nancy shouldn't end up like her parents with the same like deadbeat dad who's just boring and does nothing, and the beautiful mom, but she is trapped. Like, that nuclear family, right? That's the exact same thing, just like Nancy with Steve. That's Mike and 11, because Mike would be like the dad, like, he's just like nerdy, slow. Okay, he's technically not slow, but like, whatever. 11 is some powerful goddess compared to him. It just doesn't make sense. It would be different with, and like at the dinner table in season 5, whenever after 11 hit Angela with the roller skate, and like he like left the table and he was like, well, it didn't look like she was okay.
She didn't look fine.
Ow!
Like, that was just so Mike's parents. That was so something Mike's parents would do. Also, if you look at 11's room, in season 5, for example, all around it, season 3 and 4, all around her room is pictures that she made about Mike, like drawn, like Mike's name all in rainbow letters. It doesn't look like Mike made any of these. These were very obviously made by 11. But whenever you look at Mike's room, paintings that Will made, like, that is so, like, 11 obviously draws. She makes this stuff. So why isn't Mike using her stuff? this little sign right by Mike's closet that says one way pointing to the closet. Gay. Also, people use Mike and Will's fights as evidence as to why they wouldn't be canon. But I would say the opposite. In all of their fights, Will brings up nothing about liking Mike or liking boys or liking anybody. But every single time, like the first main fight in the rain, you're giving this all up also you can be with some stupid girl? She's not stupid. It's not my fault you don't like girls.
You're destroying everything, and for what? You can swap spit with some stupid girl? Elle's not stupid. It's not my fault you don't like girls.
When was that brought up? That is so, like, internalized homophobia. Like, nobody brought that up but Mike. That is engraved in Mike's head. And the writers know this. The writers are writing down every single line. And their other big fight. Whenever, at the roller rink, after Will was telling him everything, Mike was like, well, Will said, well, then what are we? Because he was, like, insinuating best friends, right? Because, like, they have been best friends. And then Mike goes, we're friends, like saying that as in Will was implying there was some type of relationship there, but he wasn't. He obviously wasn't.
It's been a year, Mike. Meanwhile, Elle has like a book of letters from you.
That's because she's my girlfriend, Will.
And us?
We're friends. We're friends.
Well, we used to be.
So Mike has that engraved in his head. More on that fight. They use the same parallel. That whole scene had parallels from other movies. Let's start with Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. This scene right here.
Welcome back, come on.
And then this scene. Mike!
Careful. You're squishing your present. Oh, hey, how you doing? Hey, Mike. Hey.
Is that not the exact same thing? And then later on in that scene during the fight, you know High School Musical? What about us? What about everything we've been through?
What about us?
Well, what about us?
What? Well, we used to be best friends. Well, then maybe you should have reached out more. I don't know.
I forgot to add, the Duffer Brothers at first said that scene would be filmed in a golf course, which is the exact same place that Troy and Gabriella were. So, like, it's basically the same thing since it would be at the same spot in the same, what about us? If that ain't some dangin' evidence, I don't know what is. And if you don't know Troy and that girl, whatever her, I forgot, I haven't seen High School Musical in a while, but they are... Aww. Also, the Duffer Brothers themselves said that they actually took inspo off the Harry Potter Secrets Chambers for season 4 and Gabriella and Troy's thing. And if you look at the final people standing next to each other in the last episode, the last scene of the last episode, what we are ending off in season 4, Mike and Will are standing next to each other. And 11's alone because she's independent. Remember in season 3, that whole thing where it's like, where blue meets yellow in the west?
When blue and yellow meet in the west. When blue meets yellow in the west.
It was a big thing. And like, it was kind of random because like, we couldn't really, like, that whole riddle, it didn't really mean anything. But like, unless it's connected to a different part of the story. Where blue meets yellow in the west. Mike is heavily associated with blue, like heavily, and Will is heavily associated with yellow. And then look at all these ways that Will, like, that Mike and Will look at each other. Just. And Mike has this huge problem with not being able to say things to 11 like I love you.
You don't love me anymore.
Who said that I didn't?
You never say it.
I say it.
can't even write it, Mike.
They get in a huge fight. Right after that fight, Will says something I forgot, but then he's like, Mike is like, I'm sorry I was a jerk, and Will is like, you didn't I didn't say it, and then Mike is like, you didn't have to.
I mean, I was being a total self-pitying idiot.
I didn't say it.
You didn't have to.
That is so obvious. Oh, and all of these scenes, like this scene with Robin and Vicky. Who is an obvious, like, meant to be couple type thing. And then this scene with Mike, Elle, and Will.
It's really you. It's me.
This is the exact same thing going on. Like, they are very definitely parallels. Also, the main character of Will. The Duffer Brothers said it themselves that Will is the main character of Stranger Things. And it's, like, obvious Will likes Mike. He basically admits it in season 4. But they wouldn't leave Will, the main character, on just some type of yearning ending of a relationship. Like, main characters always get the love that they need. They don't just get rejected because the person that they're in love with is in love with someone else. Like, that would make no sense. That's horrible writing. And the way that Will influences Mike, like in this one scene, Will's like, in their big fight, Will's like, you don't even know where Dustin is and you don't even care. And Mike's like,
Where's Dustin right now? See, you don't know and you don't even care, and obviously he doesn't either.
and then right after that, he's basically like, he tries to call Dustin about this, and then Dustin doesn't pick up because he's kidnapped by the Russians. But then his friends are like, oh, Dustin's not here. And then Mike is like, then we try again, because he's influenced by what Will says. Also, the difference of apologies between Mike and Will. Look at the way Mike looked at Eleven after Eleven broke up with him in this big fight.
I dump your ass.
And then after, he never really apologized. But whenever Mike and Will had this big fight, he came knocking down on Will's door, just being like, I'm so sorry, man, like, just...
Will, I'm sorry, man, alright? I was being a total asshole. Please, can you just come outside and we'll talk? Will!
And the way that Mike and Will interact, you can never imagine Lucas and Dustin interacting like this. Like, imagine if you saw Lucas and Dustin looking at each other like, I didn't say it. You didn't have to. Like, that is so... Okay, that's all the evidence I can think of for Byler right now. If I'm missing anything, comment down below. So next we're gonna go on to Jancy or Stancy, the generational debate. I think that Jancy is the most likely thing that's gonna happen, and I like that. I'm not like really big on either side, but I like Jancy more. I don't really like the honest, but Jancy is like kind of like canon in every way. The actors are dating, the voice actors in German are dating, I'm pretty sure, and then they're gonna be dating. So, and their scars on their hand, I think my biggest reason is their scars on their hand, because remember in season 1 whenever they both scarred their hand, I don't think that she would be able to live and marry Steve with that type of scar connecting her to Jonathan forever. And also on the bus, Steve is just telling Nancy like, oh, I want 6 kids with you. That is so weird. Like, Nancy, her whole thing, she is an independent woman. She isn't trying to be some nuclear family like her parents. But no, that 6-kid thing is so her parents. It's the exact same thing. He's just a jock that's not really going to end up anywhere in life like Nancy's dad. But Steve, he's got meaning to her. And like Murray is always right, I'm pretty sure. And if he tells Nancy that she doesn't love Steve...
We like Steve.
Yes!
But we don't love Steve.
What? No, I do.
There it is.
Then he's right. And if he's like Murray himself ships Jancy So shouldn't we all? And I know that their relationship was kind of digressing in the last season with their whole like, oh, college acceptance letter, oh, she reunited with Steve. But I think that's just like things putting them down so that they can have an epic, like lovely, amazing reunion in season 5. And then Joyce and Hopper, that's just obvious. Like they're meant to be. They need that date at Genzo's, I forgot what it's called. But they need that. And then lastly, Max. They might be my favorite. I don't know, them or Byler. I love Lucas and Max. Like, they just love each other so much. There's really no arguing against Chopper and Max. As long as Lucas survives season 5. But I don't think he will. Oh, and then Robin and Vicky, of course, you know, they deserve to be together. There's not really much to say on that. I think that one's just pretty obvious. Okay, I think it's time to go into who I think is gonna die and who isn't. And I'm pretty sure about these answers. First, let's talk about Will. Everybody thinks Will's gonna die, but I don't think he will die at all. Let's start with this whole Billy and Will theory. Billy, Max's brother, his real name is Will. And they are the exact same. They both have abusive dads, moms who cared about them very much, girly hobbies. They started out like both their dads wanted them to get into more masculine stuff. Like there's scenes of Billy and his dad teaching him baseball, even though he wanted to surf. And like they're the exact same, except Billy, his mom had to go and he got with his dad, and then Will, he stayed with his mom who supported him in his feminine things. And like we know that Billy is gay based on like his dad calling him the F-slur, and just other like he just reflects in very aggressive ways that wouldn't have happened if he stayed with his mom like Will, because he started off very much like Will. And so that's why I think that like everything after their parents split up is the exact opposite. Like they went in such separate ways that the fact that Billy died makes me think that there's no way Will's gonna die, since they're so the opposite of each other. Also, the fact that Will's the main character, I don't think they're gonna kill the main character off. I'm pretty sure that Stranger Things said that they're gonna kill 5 characters off. So the first one I'm gonna get into is Lucas, because I think they're gonna kill Lucas off because it would just be like so unexpected and sad that they worked this whole time. It'd be so sad for Max if she woke up from her coma to see that Lucas is dead. Like it's like the roles switched, and I think that's just like such a plot twist and like meaningful ending that I think that the writers would do. I think the second possibility is Mike, because Mike is the main, like everybody has so much discourse over Maleven and Byler that I think they might just kill Mike off just to like have nobody really win that discourse or lose. And also Mike is just the warrior, the leader of the group. He's the heart, and then the heart gets stabbed. And 3, oh my gosh, I really think it could be Jonathan, because this would be like I think it has to be either Jonathan or Steve, and I think Jonathan more likely, because imagine Jonathan dies, basically forcing Nancy to be with Steve, and then she just stuck with the scar forever, always a big reminder of Jonathan, and it's just tears out her heart for like the rest of her life. Like that's just a sad, perfect ending, kinda. For Dustin, because of the parallels between him and Max. After Billy died, you can see all the things with Max and how she almost died. She got so close. I think the exact same thing is gonna happen with Dustin because of Eddie's death, except Dustin will actually die because of the grief. I have really no idea who the 5th person could be, so comment your ideas down below. I'm thinking maybe 11. Like, I think she would sacrifice herself for everyone, just like she did at the end of the first season. Because, oh yeah, Stranger Things thought that they wouldn't get a second season. So they ended the first season however they thought good, and they ended it with 11 dying. So it's from sacrificing herself. So, oh my gosh, I am so on to something. They are totally going to do the same thing, and 11's going to sacrifice herself and die. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, here's another theory I wanted to add in. In one of the recent trailers, you can see, what's her name, Karen and Nancy's mom, like, falling in this kitchen room, looking like she got injured, maybe. I think that this scene from the most recent trailer 2 days ago is in that same scene. Nancy with her gun. A big part of Nancy with her gun, she like never missed a shot in all the season. She's amazing at shooting. I think it's a really like plot twisty thing of the writers to do. If they had a thing where she missed her shot and she hit someone, she hit her mom, I think she's gonna accidentally shoot her mom, but I think she's gonna survive. Also, big theory. This, I feel like this isn't even a theory, this is just obvious, but Will is gonna have some type of fireball power. He's gonna be able to let out a huge fireball. In so many scenes throughout the first 4 seasons, Will is always depicted as a wizard with a fireball. Like in all his drawings, he's always doing a fireball. Like he is gonna be a wizard with some type of powers. Like that's just a given practically. And I think that I high-key think, I saw this theory on TikTok, but I think it's true, that in the beginning, Eleven used Mike's house to hide from the Demogorgon of Vecna or whatever, and she tricked Will into coming in for her, and then Will like took her place from the Demogorgon, and then Will like got powers, and then so they didn't really need 11 anymore. Because like in that one scene where the door opens, the Demogorgon don't have telekinesis or whatever 11 has, so how could the door have opened unless it was 11? And how could, whenever 11 points at Will in that one scene, how could she have known who Will is at this point? She had never met him unless she let Will in, unless she tricked Will. And really, if you saw the trailer, those Demogorgons are hecka strong now. Like, they are insane. They are just throwing people around. There's no way, I really feel like there's no way that 11's gonna be able to beat them with her powers alone. So that's why Will, like, needs powers at this point. Well, that's all. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy Stranger Things 7 p.m. November 26th. Have a great day, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye! Also, I think that the new kid that nobody really knows, I think he has Hawk and Nab's files. I think he's like Uncle Brenner's nephew.